I would like to talk about the fact that there's a lot of triggering news going on out there in the world for survivors of SA in any way, whether it was a little, whether it was a lot, whether it was horrific, whether it was just pretty bad, no matter what amount of that you may have endured. I'm trying not to get banned. No matter what you may have endured, your story is important and your triggers are very important to address. There's a lot of news constantly going on with Trump and Epstein. And today I want to talk about how you can reclaim your body and mind. And if you are someone who is not interested in this kind of content, we're going to learn about meditating and getting through triggers in the news. Whether it's this or another subject, please feel free to stick around if the news triggers you or you get triggered often for any reason as a result of trauma or abuse. It's not just this, but I am going to address it because there are many survivors of abuse who have never told their stories and can get triggered. And if you're around people right now in public and they're acting weird, or even loved ones that you live with or associate with regularly, and if they're acting a little off, this may be why. Sometimes we get triggered and we have so many deep wounds and we're so scarred that we don't share it. We don't share it. We deal with it privately often because sometimes we're like, well, people might get sick of hearing me talk about all my problems and the abuse I suffered. And it's okay. You have to navigate that on your own if you don't want to share it. But it's important to understand there are ways to get through it if you are dealing with it on your own. And I would like to talk about doing a search in your mind if you are feeling the impact of these headlines in any way, if you're feeling the impact of these headlines. It's valid for you to have your feelings. Don't let anybody tell you things like, oh, just get over it. It's not something you get over. It's something, SA is something that you learn to live with. It's not something you ever fully recover from. It's kind of like an alcoholic being in alcohol recovery and being sober. They're always an alcoholic. They just may not be drinking now. The alcoholism is in them forever. That's the same thing with SA. If you are a survivor of that, that is always with you. That is not something that goes away and is gone. It's with you forever. And every time you see the people in the news who, if we only believed women and girls when they told their stories, we wouldn't be going through this right now. That's another whole story for another time. But all of these things can get triggered and come up fully, boom, back into our minds immediately. And I will say, most of the people who follow me and subscribe to my channels are women. There is a percentage of men, but SA affects men and women, girls and boys. It's not just women. Boys also experience this. And there's a lot less men and boys report it because they carry a lot more shame than women. And a lot of women don't. But the percentage of women who share it is higher than men, but men experience it and boys as well. So please understand that I am here to let you know I validate your feelings of pain if you are a survivor of SA and this news is triggering to you. You are honored by me. I honor you. I honor you. And I just want you to know that your story is valid to me. You don't ever have to tell me it, but I believe you. if you are struggling with this. It's very impactful. Our nervous system stores trauma. This is why when I said it's like an addict who never is fully recovered, they're in recovery. It's the same thing with SA. Our nervous system in our body stores trauma, stores it forever. It's never gone. And this is an evolutionary trick our body does, where we have to remember when something scary is happening to us, because evolutionarily, 100,000 years ago, before we had houses, we had to be on high alert, fight or flight all the time. So that's in our biological system. So our nervous system stores that memory, so we know when to fight or fly. That's why when you see certain names or faces in the news, it can activate your anxiety, your fear, and your helplessness. So know that if you're not a person that this is traumatizing, but you're a person who loves someone who you are aware has experienced something like this, or somebody that you love, you're around, who's very, very off emotionally lately, just check in with them. They don't have to tell the story. Just let them know you love them. Don't get angry with them. Just say, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Hey, can I give you a hug? Some people don't want to be hugged, and that's okay too. Just check in and have some extra compassion. We need some extra compassion right now, because there are so many, many people who are suffering. I did a study when I got my undergraduate degree on victims of this type of thing. And this was in the early 90s when I did this study. So it's been a long time. And the reports were that 1/3 to 2/3 of all girls and women have experienced some type of SA in their life. And about at least 1/3 of men and boys. So I guarantee you know someone in your life that has experienced something like this. And I know this is a heavy subject. It's for a Monday morning, but it's important because so many people we know and love have experienced this to some degree or another. So please have extra compassion. Have extra compassion in your heart for anyone you love that is feeling off, and just create space for them to just be. Now, they should have some self-control about how they react to things. Like, you don't want people acting out to where they may harm themselves or others. Of course, you want to make sure that they're safe for themselves and others. Just have a little extra compassion.